Hello, everybody. Welcome into our pre-Computer America show. It is Wednesday, and Sandy Berger is going to be joining us for both hours. We're looking forward to what she has to say. And, of course, Sandy is going to be out of the Consumer Electronics Show. We'll talk about that as well with Ben. It's going to be an interesting show. We have lots of fun things to talk about. So sit back, relax, enjoy 2 hours of Computer America coming at you right here. Okay. Stand by.
One minute until showtime.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Greg, you're slurring your words again.
Yes. 30 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And it is Wednesday, and we have a terrific show planned for you today. It is the second Wednesday of the month. That means we're going to have Sandy Berger, our consumer electronics expert, going to be joining us for both hours. It's going to be a fun show. We're going to talk about CES. She's got some great things to do. Let me just tell you, if you have a comment or a question for her, we always encourage you to give us a call, 347-884-8881. Our live telephones are open when we are live. That is Monday through Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 347-884-8881. Also, if you don't want to call but you have a comment or a question, just go to any page at ComputerAmerica.com, which is the internet home of our radio broadcasts. On the upper right corner of any page there, you'll see it says Submit a Question. It's a link. Just click on it, and it will take you to our question submission page where you can type in your question, click the Submit button, and Ben and I will see it instantly, and we'll ask your question for you on your behalf and pose it to Sandy or whomever else. That's the other way you can interact. The third thing that you can do is that you can watch us. We are a radio talk show, but we also provide live video streaming. So go to any page at ComputerAmerica.com, click on the Show Lounge selection on the menu bar there. It's on every page, and you will be instantly transported to our live video streaming page. And
one of us.
That's right. You will join us at the moment that we're live. In other words, it doesn't start from the beginning. It takes you right up to the point where we're at the show at that moment, and you can continue to watch us. You can see myself. You can see Sandy. Of course, you can see Ben. And Ben, of course, has the technology to display websites, movies, videos, so you can see everything as well as hear everything at Computer America. If you're not listening to us live, when you do that, it'll go to our YouTube video page where you can select any show that you like, because we archive all of our videos. It'll also allow you, if you click the archive page, it'll take you to SoundCloud and Stitcher and Blog Talk Radio, the TuneIn Radio Network, the IRN Radio Network, all the places that you listen to the show live, as well as get archives of the programs. That's all available. Again, it's all at computeramerica.com. Anything you want to mention before we bring Sandy on and talk about all the cool stuff, Ben?
No. I think we are good to go.
Okay, well, as I said, Sandy Berger is a consumer electronics expert, well-versed in things like printers, cell phones, digital cameras, any other electronic device basically you can think of. Her website is CompuKiss.com, and Sandy is one of our Computer America correspondents who appears here on the show on a monthly basis. Sandy, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm doing well, Craig.
And let's talk a little bit about CES before we get into all the cool things that you find for us. As you're well aware of, we start first, I believe, at Showstoppers, which is the event where we're live up on stage. We have a backdrop with our Computer America logo. It's going to be new this year. Hopefully, they got the new logo, and we will. And I understand that you're going to be there. Ben is for the first time is going to actually be out there at Showstoppers as well as CES. So it's a first for him, but we're looking forward to that. He's going to actually get to meet you. So tell us a little bit about or just tell Ben a little bit about what he can expect out there.
Well, probably it's what you're already getting is a deluge of email from all these companies talking about what they're going to. Oh, by the way, I love your falling stars.
There's snow.
No, it's snow, actually.
Snow? Okay.
I did the same things. Don't feel bad. I thought it was, look,
It looks like stars. We need to tell everybody who's just listening to audio what we're talking about here. He's got a background set up. Ben's got a background, which is computer generated, of course. And I thought it was falling stars, but yeah, snow could be. Okay.
It's snow, but okay.
All right.
Actually,
Anyway.
that's not computer generated. We actually have them out in the backyard where it's snowing in Florida.
I see. Snowing in Florida, right? Okay, I believe that. Anyway, so it actually, all the CES hoopla starts right about now, where you're getting all these email, and it is, to be honest with you, so much email you can't even look at it all. But what I'm seeing is a ton of stuff on drones. A ton of health stuff, health related, and home automation stuff. So those, to me, right now are the three biggest. I'll know more, of course, when we get there.
What about flat screen TVs? Is that still going to hold its own?
Oh yeah, I just got something on some new TV stuff this morning. So TVs are always huge because Samsung, LG have huge displays there. They'll have press conferences. And then they'll have what seems like miles of booth space to show everything from washing machines to televisions. So it's pretty amazing stuff.
Okay, and I told Ben to bring a large bag for all the swag, that he'll get when he goes out there.
Yeah, especially if you go to the press places. That's where you're going to get a lot of stuff, like Showstoppers. You'll get things there.
Now, if I bring like a backpack, am I gonna look weird?
No.
No,
No, not at all. Lots of people do use backpacks. If you get into these crowded areas, they can be a huge pain, especially if you're short like me. Because what happens to me is the 6-foot guys put the backpack on and it's hitting me right in the face. But if you're careful with it, they're very popular there because nobody, wants to carry all that stuff, especially if you have even a laptop or anything like that.
I know it's silly to think about, going to one of the largest, and not the largest in America, tech conferences, and wondering, am I going to look geeky? But it's crossed my mind a couple times because I also have an Activon camera, which is an action camera, in the same vein as GoPro, and I could get a chest mount strap for it. I could get a head mount strap for it, but I don't think I want to be walking around there with a camera strapped to my head. So.
Well, you will see other people doing that. So just in case, one thing I love about CES is that I don't look geeky.
Right.
I do not fit the natural geeky type. And the other thing that's great, which you will not appreciate, but for women it's really great, it is the one conference that I can go to where there is a wait for men to get into the men's room and women can zip right in, which is usually the opposite. So there are some things that are really unique about CES.
All right. Well, good. Well,
Starting to sound like it. And you're going to be out attending, of course, those operas with us. Are you going to be there for the whole 3 days as well to check out the CES?
Yes, my husband and I actually go, and we usually spend a whole week
Oh.
because there is so much to do. You can't do it in just a few days, and then maybe if we're lucky, we get a day to unwind at the end, which is pretty nice. So yes, I'll be there the whole time.
So,
Are you also going to PepCom Digital Experience?
No, I have not even heard of that.
Oh, okay. I will send you the information on that. That's another great show. It's just like Showstoppers.
Sure.
Only some of the same people will show up there, but for the most part, it's different people. It's a press only event.
Ah, okay. Definitely want to get it because that's in the same time frame, Chris.
Yes, and those are the two best ones.
Yeah. Now, while you're out there, you and your husband, do you have a spare room for Ben? I just kind of curious.
No. Hotel reservations have been made. We're good there.
There you go.
All right. So we're moving right along here, as I said. Now, here's the thing that let me just kind of give you a briefing here for our listeners. If you want to follow along with what we're talking about, we have everything in place for you. If you go to computeramerica.com, all you have to do is click on, click here to start today's live show, or you can click on the consumer electronics expert Sandy Berger. You can go there, and when you read the description, there at the bottom of it, in very large type, says cheat notes. If you click on that, it'll open up a Google Docs document, and then you can see everything that we're talking about. But not only do we have the descriptions, we have the pictures of the things, we also have, most importantly, the links to the pages. In addition to pricing and everything is up on our cheat notes, so it just makes it for you to more easily to follow on. And if you're doing it live with us, or you're doing it in archived, delayed broadcast, either way that works. You can find the cheat notes there. You can also go to the Blog Talk Radio website if you're listening to us on the audio portion of Blog Talk Radio. The cheat notes link is there for you as well. And the other thing that I just want to mention, I always enjoy mentioning this every time Sandy appears on the show, is that one of the things that we really like about her is that when she talks about a product for review, you're going to get the real scoop on it, because if she likes it, she's going to tell you she likes it and why. And if she doesn't like something, guess what? She's going to tell you that as well as why she doesn't like the product. So you really get the straight scoop for her. She's not here to promote. She's not being paid to promote these items. You're going to get the actual editorial opinion of why you should or should not check further into these products. So and you never know what she's going to say, and that's one of the things we really like about her. So that given, I think we'll just, anything else, Ben, before we get started? Actually, we got an email from someone from in Romania, which I thought was very complimentary. If you don't mind, Sandy, I'd just like to read really quickly.
Go ahead.
We get lots of complimentary letters. This one kind of struck me. This is from a gentleman who listens to us out in the Ukraine, and I'm not making fun because his English is very broken. But
why don't you try cleaning it up for him?
I could. Although, should I clean it up, or should I just read the way he wrote it?
I think you should go with the message he intended, not the one that he.
Okay, and I will. His name is Miroslav Kaban, and he goes, "Hi there. He says, I listen to your programs with a great amount of pleasure. Okay, thank you very, very much for your work, the quality of your programs, and the good mood." Okay, yes, you have a good mood.
Good mood.
We would like to get something from you as a souvenir. He says, "Is it possible or not?" I don't know about getting a souvenir, but he says, "Thank you very much for your attention. Have a great day and prosperity. Your fan, Miroslav Kaban."
You know what we did a couple of years ago that we haven't done since, but might be time to do it again, because we really, yes, we make the show for you guys, but we really haven't done much for our fans lately. We did a couple of years ago, and a couple people still have them, have a signed beach ball that says Computer America on it, and I'm sure Craig signed it. And we sent that out to, I want to say, about 100 different listeners around the world. All over Europe, all over Australia, all over
Ukraine. I don't know if
parts
they
of
have,
India, Ukraine,
is that
all over the U.S., Canada, South America. Like, we sent beach balls all over the world. So we haven't done that in a while.
Well, we'll think about it and see, and then if, we may put
Might be time to do something again.
Anything's possible. Okay. Anyway,
and something for your correspondence. I don't even have a Computer America T-shirt.
well, when Ben sees you out there, he'll give you one of his our prize and treasured.
I ain't giving her the shirt off my back.
Oh yeah. Oh thanks. Here I thought you'd do anything for me. Ben.
You might be surprised. All right. Anyhow, we're going to start right off here, and the first thing we're going to go to today, and you'll see it's in the cheat notes, is talk about the Amazon Echo. And you go, wait, no, we talked about the Amazon Echo, but you know what? Things keep changing. And matter of fact, the Amazon Echo was in the news a few days ago, where people were saying that when the Amazon Echo commercial came on, they said, what was it? Hey,
Alexa.
Hey, Alexa. And Alexa started to respond to the commercial. I don't know if that was intentional or what, but it was interesting.
But that same thing has happened to me. When you have the TV on, the commercial comes on, and the machine hears its name, Alexa, and that's how she responds. So she's, over there waiting for you to tell her what you want. So that is kind of cute. But, I love Alexa. I mean, I have liked the Echo since I first got it, maybe 6-8 months ago. And the thing that I think is the best about it is that they keep adding things. So every day or every week, Alexa gets smarter and smarter. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know, Alexa is the code name for the Echo. So when you want to talk to her, you have to call her name Alexa.
I wish our kids would have taken that example. Every day they get smarter and smarter and learn more. So.
They do, but usually in ways we're not too pleased with.
So she's taking on new abilities. What can she do now?
Well, now she can. You can add your sports teams, and basically you go to an app on your cell phone or tablet or wherever you have the Alexa app. And you put in the names of the sports teams that you want to watch, and then you just say, give me a sports update, and she'll give you, say you have a football team, a basketball team, and a hockey team. Whoever happens to be playing at that time, she'll give you the update on it, which is kind of cool.
Interesting. So you can say, what's the score?
Right. And for just about any game, you can ask her now, what's the score? And she couldn't do that at first, but now she can.
Very cool.
The same thing with the news. You can go in her app and customize the news that you don't want to hear. So if you don't customize it, the default is NPR. But I have customized now mine so that I get more tech news and then world news and that sort of thing. So you can do that. One of the recent things that she can do is now you can manage her alarms, and you can have more than one alarm. So you can have as many alarms as you want. In other words, if you've got two people that need to be woke up at 2 different times, she'll wake each of you up. And now you have a choice of about 12 different sounds that you can set the alarm to. So, you wake up listening to whatever you want to listen to or whatever sound you want.
Now, how do you know that all these new abilities are there? I mean, you just have to keep trial and error? Do you get an email? I mean, how do you know?
Well, that's another beautiful thing that I like about Amazon, and I wish that Microsoft did this with Windows 10. But what Amazon does with the Echo is you're registered to her, so whenever she learns something new, they send you an email saying, okay, now she can do alarms. This week I got an email saying now she can do local businesses. So they've connected her to Yelp, so that you go in. You have to go in the settings and put your address in. But once you put your address in, you say, tell me what are the hours for the Chinese restaurant nearby, or what is the Chinese restaurant that's nearby, and she's got that ability. Well, they send that out to you in email.
Very nice. Very,
The
very
the other thing is, and I didn't realize this, I did realize she has what's called skills. So sometimes she learns new things, and it's called a skill. So you have to go and enable those. You only turn on the ones that you want in your app. For instance, some of her skills are she can call bingo, she can play games.
Think of
Uh,
6. Okay, yeah, exactly.
you know, but when I went on, the last time I was on skills was maybe 2 months ago, and I went back to the Alexa skills and found that there are now 9 pages of
Whoa,
skills. That's
whoa,
at about 10 a page. That means she's got 90 skills. Last time I looked, she had maybe 20.
wow.
Now she's got 90. These are skills that people create for her. And so there's things people are very interested in, like cat facts, dog facts, math puzzles. She'll read Bible verses to you now. And she could always read your Audible books, which I think is great. Let's see. It just
Catfax was an internet meme for the longest time, where people would, you're now subscribed to Catfax. Did you know cats can land, from 10 feet without, hurting themselves? And then they'd be like, "Shut up, we don't care about that." And it's like, "Thank you for continuing your subscription to Catfax. Did you know?" And like it keeps going on and on. So it's kind of funny that they'd include Catfax in there as well.
Yeah, and I
Little cheeky.
have not even tried that because I can't say I don't like cats. I like cats, but I'm allergic to them, so I don't like to think about cats. So I don't.
You start your eyes water.
I sneeze when I think about them. There are some interesting things that I saw today in looking through this. Alexa can now play trivia with up to 4 people. She can also, she's got a skill called Anymote, which is supposed to enable her to turn TVs and devices like that on and off if they have infrared on them. Don't know exactly how that works yet, but that would be, I think, an interesting one.
So she plays trivia, so you have up to 4 people, and she just starts asking questions, and people.
Right. And she plays these different games. The games she plays with the kids are really great. The kids love these games. There's one called an animal game where you think of an animal.
Oh yeah.
And then she asks you questions, and you answer the questions, and then she tries to guess what animal it is.
Craig does that one all too well.
I wrote one. I mean, it was what part of the course is to understand heuristic learning and computer programming. Okay. And the idea with animals that made it stand out is that the more you played it, the more it learned. So if you couldn't guess your animal, then she would say, "Give me a question that I could ask you about that," and then the answer yes or no, and then the next time that animal was in her library. I don't know if that's in the Amazon Echo version, but I know the version that I wrote, that was one of the key things about the animal game.
Well,
if it does that,
I'll have to play it a little further to see exactly what it does.
Have an animal where and purposely leave it down and it doesn't know the answer, and you'll say say no. And then she says, "Well, what was the animal?" And you tell her, and it says, "Give me a question I could ask for it." Then she's learning, and the next time, it'll ask you that.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. There's another one I want to check out too. It's called Ask Eliza, and it starts a psychotherapy session. It says.
Yes, Eliza. That was written by a professor at MIT it was a stab at artificial intelligence way back when. It really was extremely mild version of it, but it was like an experimental thing that he did, and that was another one that we kind of tested out. But that one didn't learn. That was just
Okay. Well, I'm really curious to see how that is on the Echo.
Yeah. 2 classics that you've mentioned.
Yeah, and she also has added more devices that she can control. So I have the Philips Hue lights, and she turns my lights on and off. But you have Insteon, SmartThings, and Wink. Those are 3 others that she can control. All of those you need a hub for, but.
Let me know when she learns how to control teenagers. That would be the next.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Wow, what is up with all the kid hate lately? This is rough.
Exactly. So she's obviously learned quite a bit since we last talked.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about it, and it's fun. And I think the most fun thing is that it doesn't cost anything extra. You've got the Echo. They're not charging you even 50 cents for a skill. It's just It's all included. She can do these things. So it keeps you using it, even if you wouldn't normally use it, although I probably would.
Mm.
You go back to it to try out these new skills.
Now, when you buy an Amazon Echo brand new, let's say that today or something, will these new skills already be incorporated, or do you have to go through all the different the stages to get all these things?
I believe that some of her things are already incorporated, like Yelp, I think, is already incorporated.
But then it's just a simple matter of upgrading,
but
right?
there are other things. No, there are other things that are these skills where you turn on and off. So you will have to go and look through the skills and see which ones you want and which ones you don't.
Okay, all right.
And I would assume that helps Amazon know what's popular and what's not popular, and they get feedback on all this stuff, which is really good.
Mm. Okay, again, the Amazon Echo sells for $179.
Mm-hmm.
And anything else?
Well, she can also, and this is something she could do before, but I'm not sure I ever mentioned it, is that you can pair her with your Bluetooth device. So if you have music on your cell phone, you just pair it and play whatever music you want right from your cell phone. And you can also control the music through her. So in other words, you can say skip to the next song, previous song, pause, whatever. And that's pretty cool.
So Amazon Echo is the ultimate Bluetooth speaker.
She is, and the sound is pretty good because it's a surround speaker.
Yeah.
So she's got a decent sound.
It's funny how these things are making it into broadcast TV. I don't know if you've ever watched it. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but Castle is this detective TV series.
Fairly popular.
With Nathan Fillion playing the lead role, and he's also very much into gadgets. And he got a gift, or he bought it for himself because he's a multi-millionaire, so he can buy whatever he wants. And he purchased something that's very much like the Amazon Echo, but I guess for copyright reasons he couldn't have it in there. So it looks like a pyramid with a little black pyramid with a blue top on it, like the Luxor Hotel little, and it speaks to him sort of like what the Amazon Echo does. So, and that's his new toy that he plays with. So.
Well, I have not heard of any other Echo type products out there, at least not that are readily available.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting because now the Echo has been out for a year. So that has given lots of companies time to get on that bandwagon if they want to, and we'll probably see those things at CES this year. Excellent.
And speaking about things being updated and getting on the bandwagon, just FYI, Cassandra, I know you have an iPhone. You have an iPhone 6 or 6S? Which do you have?
I have a 6.
You have a 6. Yeah. I have a 6S, and just late last night, Apple just released iOS 9.2.
I saw that.
Yes. For those of you who have iPhones, you might want to get that upgraded. If you have it turned on, your iPhone will probably upgrade automatically. You don't have to connect it to your computer anymore to do it, but you can if you're upgrading through iTunes. And they've included a number of improvements, Apple Music improvements. It looks like they've added a new top story section in the news. They have additional features they have a mail drop now in Mail for sending large attachments. iBooks supports the 3D Touch feature. There's a number of stabilization issues, and they fixed a number of issues, and they've added a number of accessibility improvements to it as well. So if you have 9.1, I believe it was the latest version, allow your iPhone to upgrade to 9.2, and you'll get more of these.
And one thing, and this might have been, the previous version might have had this, but this first time I've noticed this, is it popped up on my iPhone, okay, this update is available, do you want to install it now?
Yeah.
And it used to always be yes or no, but there was another option on there that said install tonight, which I thought was perfect.
It
because
is.
I never want to stop and take the time in the middle of the day to update it, but if it'll do it for me automatically at night, that's great.
I had not seen that option. You know why? Because I never got to that point because when it popped up, I had been running iTunes, and iTunes said there is an update. Would you like to do it now? Download now or install later?
Okay.
I guess if I had left it to the phone, then I probably would have seen that option. And you're right, because then upload tonight, you're sleeping, you're not using your iPhone, and that's the perfect time to install.
Exactly.
And the installation doesn't really take that long. Once it's downloaded, it's a 9. I think it's like a 9 gigabyte or some. Or no.
Well, that's the problem with doing it during the day is you don't know how long it's going to take because it could be a very quick update or it could be something that's going to take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So.
But we all know, though, that the actual downloading and installing and restarting of the phone operating system isn't the part that takes longest. It's the reading of the terms of service over again every time. That takes forever.
And the funny thing was when I said, okay, install tonight, I was taken immediately to the terms and services so that I could agree to that so that they could install it without my being there. So
You read it without reading it?
no.
You
Yeah,
accepted
I read
that
it.
reading. Okay.
Yeah. I have actually read some of that stuff, and it's the most boring things you ever wanted.
I think they do it on purpose. I really do.
Sure they do.
By the way, I just got an email from one of our listeners. He says, this is from Star Fortress. He says, I still have my beach ball.
There you go. See?
Yeah, he still has it. There you go.
That'll be worth something. I can't make guarantees. I'm glad you like it. There we go.
Why
that's
a beach ball?
Because we were from Florida, and
Oh, okay.
they have them like, there's just so many beach balls. We have to outsource them. It's crazy.
We could get them cheap, I think.
In Florida, yeah.
This is the Computer Maker Show. We're at the bottom of the hour. Sandy Berger is here for both hours. We're talking about all the cool stuff that she finds for us. We got another news tips, polls, and review coming up as well. Stay tuned for more Computer America. We will be right back.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons. Accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Now, I don't have washboard amps, but I do have a washboard. Hi, Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the multi-vault. Sure, we like gun vault products for keeping our guns out of the wrong hands, but we asked for a fairly small safe that could be just as useful to lock away credentials and any tech items, tablets to hard drives that carry sensitive info. They sent a multi-vault standard for review, a bigger two-shelf unit that can hold everything we just mentioned and more. It comes with 2 keys for its cylinder lock, and we love the 4 push buttons at the ends of finger-shaped indentations up top. You can set your own combination to open it using a sequence of these one at a time or in cords, with power from a hidden 9-volt battery inside. Bottom line, a gun vault multi-vault is one way to make sure that everything important can be kept safe in, yes, a safe. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Thank you, Marty Winston, for that News Tip Bulletin review.
Yep.
As always, he has a washboard, but not washboard tabs. Okay, so and we are here with Sandy Berger both hours today, and we are. I think we got sidetracked a little bit by the new iPhone update, which honestly I can't really tell anything different about it. So,
Did you update it? Okay.
No, actually, wow, that might be why there's nothing different about it. Interesting.
Good point.
But what about you, Craig? You said you updated. Is anything new?
Yes, the mail drop in the mail. I like that you can send large attachments. You can now just drop it right in there, which is kind of cool. And that was the only thing that I noticed immediately. But there's some problems that evidently they've fixed the stability of Safari and podcasts. So
Right.
The one thing I
yeah.
noticed was the 3D touch. They did add that to the books, iBooks. Okay, that was it.
Oh, but that's only for iPhone 6 and 6S and stuff like that.
6S.
Yeah.
6S, that's right.
Exactly.
Yeah, wonder why I didn't notice that either.
Could be because you have a 5S. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. No. So iPhone update, go check that out. But Amazon Echo, you mentioned some of these things. By the way, I haven't done this in a while, but I still do actually use them, and they're very, very nice. Does Amazon Echo still use IFTTT support?
They do, and I love that. Absolutely love it. It's go ahead and explain what it is, Ben.
Sure. If
This,
then that. Yes, that's it. IFTTT. It's a very convenient service that anyone can go sign up for, and it's if you use a certain program, you pull up the IFTTT website, and it will. Like I use it for like social media and things like that. So if I post this, it'll post it there. If I do this on the website, it'll update it there. It's it's very much a if this then that. If you do something, then something else will happen, and it's a very simple way to kind of program without actually having to know how to program.
Right, because it uses what's called recipes, and the recipes are pre-written for you. So if you want to do something with your Echo, you just look at the Echo recipes that are available, and you pick one out. For instance, I have one that my Amazon Echo, every time a new song plays on Amazon Prime or on my music, one of my hue lights goes on and changes colors.
Oh.
Which is kind of neat. And then I use IFTT for other things that are not necessarily Echo related, as you do, with social media. And for instance, I have one that will turn on my living room lights when I get into my driveway, if it's dark.
Right.
So when I drive in after dusk, the lights are on for me automatically. And some of those things are extremely useful.
Yeah, and I guess having that support built into the Amazon Echo, you don't have to wait for Amazon to specifically say, hey, here's what it can do. Making your own recipes, you can actually kind of get a little bit more out of this than I think
right.
comes right out of the box. But it's good that they're continuing support for that, and I'm sure that's getting better all the time. What other things have they updated with the Amazon Echo, or do you think they've kind of hit a lull where they wanted to get the units out for Christmas? Because do you think this was a big seller for Christmas and gifts and things like that this year?
I think it should be. I think they're just reaching a general audience, a more general audience. They just started doing some TV commercials and things like that. And Amazon, of course, has their own huge audience. But a year ago when I got mine, nobody knew anything about it, what it was, what it could do, anything like that. And since then, I've been writing about it, talking about it, and I find more and more people that will say, oh, I just got one, or I ordered one for Christmas, or whatever. So I think it should be a big seller for them.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, that is good. By the way, Sandy, have you ever done any reviews on Nest products?
I looked at a Nest thermostat at one time, and I didn't like it. It just didn't work well.
Well, all right.
But I have to say for that company that since then I hear that they have improved them quite a bit.
Quite a bit, and I just got a Nest camera. So if you had an experience with that, you should do a review on it because I've looked at a lot of cameras, and quite frankly, the Nest camera is really kind of spectacular. I really do.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it gives all the features that you'd want, and and they've combined it into one camera. The ease of use, setup, all the things that to make it is extremely easy to do now, as opposed to because I've looked at cameras from D-Link and Netgear. I mean, tons of them. This camera set up in literally in a few moments. There's no bustling antennas. You can put it anywhere. All you need is a power source, and then everything else is Wi-Fi. It's 1080p. It's high resolution. It's got two-way sound, so you can speak as well as listen. It's just got so you can say, "Hey, get out of my house." It alerts you. It detects sound or motion. It's got every feature that I wanted, including history. It's all in this camera. So you really should. I try to get Nest to come on the show, but evidently they're too big for broadcasting now. They got too much money. They don't really care about it. I guess they don't want to come on. So there it is.
Okay. Well, we'll see if I can get one. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, take a look at it. I'm curious.
I know it takes a lot to impress you, so.
Yeah, and I am very impressed with this camera. It's really, really nice.
I really like this gentleman's review of the Amazon Alexa. And again, you can go find this on the Amazon review website. And of course, Alexa, my love, thy name is inflexible, but thou art otherwise a nearly perfect spouse. So people seem to like it.
That's great. That's great. That's a great review. I have often said this is really the perfect thing for a lonely person, an older person who lives alone, because it's just talking to her. It's easy to operate, and she answers you, and you kind of feel like somebody's there, even if they're not. So I can see that, gentleman. You need to tell anybody who's just listening to the audio what the picture was, Ben.
Wait, say again?
If people are just listening to the audio and not watching the picture, Sandy wanted you to tell us what the picture is.
The picture is a gentleman curled up for the night, obviously after a long day of using his Amazon Echo and just cuddling it like the Dickens. He is obviously in love.
Bed, yes.
He is in love with his Echo.
Yeah. I've heard of multi-use devices. Evidently, there it is, multifunction, multi-use, and you can again, as Sandy says, they keep improving it. They keep adding new abilities, new features, and so obviously just to keep the interest alive, because obviously anything after a while just if there's nothing new, gets stale.
Right.
That's not the case with the Echo. As with our smartphones, it's the same thing. They're always adding new abilities with our smartphones. Any device that has constant upgrading with new features and abilities will obviously keep the product alive, I think. That's a good one. So anything else on the Echo before we move on, Sandy?
No, I think we can just move right on.
Okay. Well, we're going to stay with Amazon because you wanted to talk about the Amazon Fire tablet.
Right.
Now, tell us about this.
Well, the first thing you need to say about this tablet is that it costs $50.
Wow.
So it is a 7-inch tablet that costs $50. And, I had to take a look at this thing when I saw that. What did they cut out or not give you? How did they make it cheaper, et cetera, et cetera? And I came to the conclusion that it's a decent tablet for $50. And there are bargains on it out there. I mean, I think right at the Amazon website it's buy 5 and get 1 free.
Oh, wow.
which is a cool advertising way to go, because that way it kind of tells you that you can get one for every person in the family for the same price that you could buy an iPad, which I think is powerful alone.
Yeah, the idea of bulk buying tablets. I mean, with any other manufacturer, you're looking at maybe even a couple $1,000s, but
right,
hey, for $250, $300, get a free one.
And I've actually seen these tablets on TV and various other places that are discounted even more, or you include a a cover. I bought 2 of them for Christmas presents, and I got them 2 for $80 with covers. So if you look around, you can find even a better deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what did they take out?
Yeah, it probably makes you look extremely extravagant. Wow, Sandy's bought me a tablet.
Well, it is a small tablet. It is a 7-inch tablet, so it's more the size of an iPad mini. But what they took, the main thing, well, 2 things. The screen is a little bit less than some of their other tablets. It's 1024 by 600. But what they did is they did this IPS display, and that's in-plane switching. And basically, it gives you a wider viewing angle and a better angle than some of the other tablets. So actually, I was impressed with the screen. It didn't look cheesy, didn't look cheap. The only thing about the screen is that the whites are not terribly white. The whites are slightly yellow. Now, if you're watching a movie or anything like that, you don't even notice that. But when you're dealing with something on a white background, if you're aware of such things, you'll notice that it's slightly yellow. But so the screen, I think they probably, did a little more cheaply. They took out the stereo speakers, and that's one thing that has always impressed me about Fire tablets. From the very first one, they had excellent stereo speakers, and they took them out and put in just a plain mono speaker.
Yes, right.
Yeah, and it sounds okay, but it's certainly not great audio. But today, with most people using headphones or Bluetooth headphones or devices, you can put a set of headphones on, and if they're stereo headphones, and if the music is in stereo, which all of Amazon's music is, then you're going to get stereo anyway.
Okay, so you're going to hear stereo through your earbuds or external.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Okay, so those were the 2 places that I really thought that they, did a little bit of a downgrade to get the price down. But it's got front and rear cameras. The rear camera's 2 megapixels, so it's not. The cameras are not spectacular, but it does what you want it to do if you need to snap a picture. It's got 8 gigs of internal storage. Go ahead.
Would this be a great device to get a kid?
Oh, this is a fantastic device to get a kid. Matter of fact, the ones that I bought, it's going to a kid. And I also bought a service policy, and you can buy those directly through Amazon. And the one I got was $17 for 2 years for both tablets.
That kid, you're going to be a hero in that kid's eyes because you got him something really terrific as far as he's concerned.
Yeah, I think so too. So, but this is probably one device that I would say maybe you need a policy. Usually, I don't buy a policy. But since we know that they're selling them for $50, that's a lot less. And if you can get, a service policy for $10 or $15, it's probably worth the price to see how long they last. But it's got a micro SD card slot, so you can put up to 128 gigs of additional memory on it. They've got their own interface. Have you used a Fire tablet, Craig?
No, I have not used the Fire tablet.
Okay. The Fire tablets have their own interface, and it's built on Android, and it's called the Fire OS.
Uh-huh.
Well, now they're up to the 5th one, which they call Bellini. And the 5th version, they've made some dramatic improvements. And to be honest with you, I think it's easier than the iPad for someone who has never used a tablet.
Really? That's
so
amazing.
It's perfect for kids. Absolutely perfect for kids. Plus, they have a version that I think they're selling for $89 or so on Amazon, which is the $50 tablet, plus a kid-proof case for it, plus 2 years of free time. And free time is Amazon's kid-friendly environment that you can put on the tablet for the kids, so that they can't go places you wouldn't want them to go. So if you've got young kids, I think that's ideal way to go.
But it's interesting because you don't have to worry about the kid's going to abuse or break it, because it's $50,
Right. Oh, and the kid version that they have,
Yeah.
it comes with, I think it comes with 2-year warranty. Anything happens. They break the screen, they do anything at all to it, and Amazon will replace it or repair it.
That's great.
Yeah. So Amazon has really done a great job with this. They've added so many things. We probably could spend another hour talking about it.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about what else they've added to it.
Well, I'll tell you one other thing, the thing that aggravated me about it. You want to hear that? Okay. All right. They advertise on their website that this Fire tablet has something called Blue Shade. This is supposed to be an exclusive feature for the Fire OS Bellini.
All right.
Okay. It automatically adjusts and optimizes the backlist so that it gives you a comfortable nighttime reading experience, they say. And it's supposed to keep down the blue emissions, which tend to keep you awake.
All right.
All right, so I was really interested. I've heard a lot about blue light emitting from these devices being bad for your eyes. I love to read at night. So I went to turn on this Blue Shade, and it wasn't there.
What?
Really?
Wasn't there. So I called Amazon, and I can call a press person, but generally I call customer service just to see how I'm treated. I was treated very well, but I wound up talking to 3 different people who gave me 3 different answers.
Oh, I just love it when that happens.
Right.
Yeah.
The bottom line answer is that this Blue Shade is going to be included in this Fire tablet, but they don't have it quite ready yet. Okay, so they say that this tablet came with 5.0.1, and they say they have a new update coming out, 5.1.1. One of the service reps that I talked to went to the point of saying, okay, you can download it now. And she took me to the website, etc., and it wasn't posted yet. So basically, the bottom line is they're selling this Fire tablet. They're saying it has this Blue Shade feature, and when you get the tablet, it's not on there. You have to wait for an update, and who knows when the update is coming, tomorrow or 2 years from now. I don't know when it's coming. So that's Ben just put up, if you're watching, he put up the Blue Shade, what it's supposed to do for you.
I mean, it looks like a very neat feature. It shades of red and pink and that kind of thing, but you're saying it's not included yet, and it probably won't be for a little bit.
So then why do they even have it up on the website? They should say big letters, not available yet,
No, all they have to do is say coming.
Yeah, coming.
Right.
And that's what I told them. All you have to do is go to the website, say coming, and I would not have spent an hour trying to figure out why I couldn't do this on my tablet.
And what did she say?
She said, you're right. Of course, she said, you're right. Always agree with the customer.
Yeah.
It's a rule. Now, whether she'll actually tell anybody that, who knows? But
do you think that warrants going to one of your press contacts and say, hey, look, I spent an hour trying to find Blue Shade?
It probably does. The other thing that they don't have on this tablet that they have on their other tablets is something called Mayday. Now, I shouldn't say they don't have it. You can get Mayday. Mayday is, on the other tablets, is a button that not a button, it's a software button.
Right.
But that you press, and you can get connected immediately to them, and they can take control of your tablet and help you with whatever you want.
It's a live picture too. You actually have a live little video picture.
Yeah, and it's very cool, very neat.
Uh-huh.
And I went and looked for the Mayday button on this device, and it wasn't there. And then in my phone calling back and forth, I found out that Mayday is included, but the button is not there. In other words, you have to call them on the phone.
Okay.
And start the chat that way.
Okay. Well.
Which is okay. And they don't advertise that it's included, so I mean that's fine.
Okay, but they can do it if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Still though, at under $50,
I know, and it can do just about everything that most tablets can do. I mean, it's responsive. It's not the speediest tablet I've ever seen, but it's not slow. you're getting a name brand. I've seen a lot of tablets out there that are pretty cheap this year, but they're brands that I've never heard of, and I don't know what kind of support or what kind of hardware you're getting. At least with Amazon, I know you're getting something decent.
Is it heavy? Because just like you, whenever I have a tablet, I like to read it at night, and if they get too heavy, I lay back in bed and hold it over my face, and as I get sleepier and sleepier, I tend to drop them.
I'm going to hold it up for you to see. It's
All right.
thin. It's not the thinnest in the world, but it's not heavy.
All right.
It's good for the movies are good. Oh, and they also they have something called second screen. So if you want to start a movie on your on the Fire tablet and you want to throw it to your TV, if you have Fire TV, you can do that.
That's nice.
I think it's also you can do that on the PlayStation as well.
Oh.
So I thought that it's got a lot of little things once you get into it. They have something, and this is the other thing, talking about coming soon. They actually, on the same page that the Blue Shade is on, they have something called On Deck, and they says coming soon. It's under the operating system.
Okay.
On deck.
On Deck. And what On Deck is it downloads Prime videos, if you're a Prime member, of course, and the first episodes of Amazon series to your device when you're not using it. And that way you can have these movies available offline. So if you're taking a plane trip or someplace where you're not going to be able to get on the internet, you can still have Prime movies to watch.
Now, here's an interesting comment from one of our listeners, again, from Star Fortress. He says, I need to update the OS for Blue Shade. He says, mine didn't ship with it, but was added during an update.
Well, maybe they're... the girl told me it's 5.1.1 is the name of this update, and she told me it was not available yet. Now maybe they're doing what Microsoft does sometimes is sending out a few at a time to see how it goes, and then they'll give it to everybody.
We'll ask our listener Fortress if you can just let us know what the version of that is on your Amazon Fire.
And let's also ask him if he's tried it out, because I'm anxious to know what it's like.
There's two questions for you. Okay. I'll respond back to that. Okay. So again, we're talking about the Fire. Again, $49.99 and free shipping.
And free shipping. And okay, it's got something else that I saw for the first time now called Amazon Underground. And what that is a bunch of apps that are actually free. And when I say a bunch of, I don't know how many apps there are, but a lot of apps that you normally have to pay for the app or you have to pay for in-app purchases are free. And I thought that was really a great idea, because when some of the kids come over, they play things like Jetpack Joyride, which I think is a great a little game that they play. But when they play that, then there's in-app purchases that I never want them to make, right? Mm-hmm. Well, on this Amazon, actually the in-app purchases are also free. There's some games that I've never gone into the in-app purchases because I don't want to pay the extra money.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So now, whether it's...
The word purchase implies you're going to have to spend money.
Right, whether it's Angry Birds or something else like that, just, the regular games, you can do it without paying anything, which I think is really cool. I don't know how they did that with their developers, their app developers.
Any idea? You're the game pro. Any ideas how they're doing that?
No, I mean, that's just, asking the developer themselves to, hey, don't include in-app purchases.
Yeah, well, I guess they're there, but they're free is what it says, because it does say in-app purchases, and then when you go in, it has to have a little banner on there that says totally free or something like that.
Well, I mean, it's just like making any other game. It's just, when you go through the software and it says, would you like to charge 99 cents, $1.49, whatever, you just put 0 cents and it's free.
Well, maybe, my thought was that could Amazon be offering the developers some additional money that they might make on in-app purchases to put it in this underground store.
Maybe.
Could be.
I don't know. I don't
Could be.
know. But they've got to be doing something. You know, that was fantastic. I thought that was really great.
There you go. Okay.
All right. Are you a digital reader, Craig?
Sometimes, not as much as I'd like to be, but yes, sometimes.
All right. I do read on my Kindle a lot.
Yeah, I remember when they had the paper white, and you were disappointed because the little LEDs at the bottom were causing little rays of light. It was getting smooth.
That's right. That's right. And you know they fixed that. That was the first version of the paper white.
And
They fixed it in the second version.
Because of you, they fixed it.
That's right. It's much better now. Well, I'm sure other people complained too, but it was something I would not have bought that for. You know, but they fixed it, and the second version is fine. That's why I'm so curious about this blue shade. I'm curious to know if it actually tones down the backlighting so that you can read it almost as you would read on a paper white Kindle. So.
But just got a response from Fortress. He says he actually has a picture of it. It says blue shade is active on my Fire. He says maybe they're slowly rolling out the update. There's his question, and I'm looking at an image of it, and there it is. It's blue shade is on. It's working, and he actually includes a picture of it. So maybe they're slowly rolling it out.
Yes, it's what it sounds like, and maybe that's why the confusion back and forth with what they were doing with it.
Does it show he doesn't show the version number. We asked what version of the Fire OS do you have on there? Let us know
whatever version Sandy's using plus 0.1.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think it's 5.1.1, but we'll see what Star Fortress says.
Yeah, let's know what the version is. But we're at the bottom of the hour. The top of the hour break. Boy, the first hour went by really quickly. Sandy Berger is here with us. We're talking about all the great things that she finds. We're going to just pause for a moment and then back with hour 2 of the Computer America show with lots more. Sandy Berger is our guest. Well, stay with us.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And Sandy Berger, consumer electronics expert, continues on with us. Again, we encourage you to go to computeramerica.com. Right there, click on the section there that talks about Sandy. There's a cheat notes link. You can actually download the information and see it on the Google Docs document. It's all automatic for you. You just have to click on the cheat notes link. It's there. It's on the Blog Talk Radio link as well. We have that. And we started off with the Amazon Echo. We're talking about the Amazon Fire Tablet. $49.99 for this thing. Has all these great features. And again, if you have a comment or a question, you can send us email, comment at computeramerica.com, or you can call us at 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. So just before the break, we asked Star Fortress to send us what version of the Amazon Fire Tablet operating system he's using, because according to him and according to the image that he sent, it has Blue Shade up and running. So but I can't say which version he's running. Hopefully, we'll get that momentarily. So, Sandy, anything else about the Amazon Fire Tablet that you want to mention? Again, it's $49.99. What a deal!
And cheaper among other places.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sandy.
Yes, I'm here.
So, what? Anything else you want to let us know about the tablet?
Yeah, there was one other feature in the reading. They've have several new features in the Kindle reading area, and one of them is that it will actually slow down and tell you the meaning of words as you read, and you can adjust it to more meetings, or if you're foreign speaking and you want to learn how to some of these words, it'll do that, or you can turn it off completely. But even more impressive, just when you think that digital reading can't be any different, they come up with an idea that just I was blown away by this idea.
Really?
Yeah, it's called Word Runner. And what it is, it's a way to read faster. It keeps your eyes focused in the middle of the screen, and in the middle of the screen you see one word at a time.
Oh,
We had them on the show. What was it that had that?
I believe it was actually Word Runner. I think
we
it
had
was their technology.
Was
We
it
had
their
them-
technology? Okay.
Yeah. It was their technology, and it was
Or-
amazing because the way it worked.
It's like Read, or maybe it was like Read Sprinter or Read Sprint or something like that.
Okay.
But it's like they're boring into your brain, and actually you don't have to work at it. It just kind of comes to you, unlike when you're reading.
Here it is, Sprint Reader. Anyone out there who wants to go see what this is, you can go to a website called sprintreader.com, and it's the same kind of technology where it flashes a letter, it flashes the whole word at you, and yeah, you can go from 500 to 1,000 words per minute. So, yeah.
And it's amazing. You're right. I was saying, it's very impressive. Ben is actually showing it up on his video,
On the
right?
screen. Yeah, but it basically is one word at a time on the screen, and then it just scrolls by the other words as they come, and you can adjust the speed.
Right.
So
It's not even scrolling. It's just flashing it up there.
flashing, yes, that's right. Because it has to be flashing because you only see one word at a time.
Yeah, exactly. And but it's the technology works. It really does.
I've tried it. I can't get used to it. Maybe I'm too old-fashioned. Maybe I need more practice at it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's very, very cool, and you feel like you're comprehending these words, but at the end of the day, it's been proven time and time again that you read the words, but you don't comprehend the sentence. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
When doing it this way, you mean?
Yeah. But by doing it one word a second, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in a sentence besides just the words. The length of the sentences, the way a person writes, and it really does help you understand the concepts more than just one word at a time.
I think you're right. I think you articulated what I was thinking in that I didn't really like doing it this way. I felt like I was missing something.
Because it really, I mean, it's pretty easy to associate words. Yeah, I mean, ball cap, blah blah blah. Like you can see the words and you know what they mean, but to actually string them along and put them into an idea is very, very hard to do for people to read like this. So don't get me wrong, it's very cool. It's kind of a trick because people think that they're reading really, really, really fast.
It's amazing.
But at the end of the day, it's not what you want to do for enjoyment reading, at least.
Yeah, maybe for technical reading. I don't know. Certainly. So I mean, I didn't. After reading the sentence, I retained what it was that I read. I mean, I could, so maybe.
I'm basing this off science, Craig. I'm not talking anecdotal here.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if it could be good for certain people. I mean, everybody learns differently. Everybody reads differently. There are people with dyslexia.
Mm-hmm.
So would this be better for somebody like that? Quite possibly. I don't know.
Right.
But it was interesting, and I was blown away because I thought to myself, wow, they still came up with a new way to do a digital reading, which I didn't think was possible, but they came up with it.
Yeah.
So I guess Amazon is, it looks like Amazon is leasing or has sold the rights to use this.
They've embraced
To
the
be
technology.
fair, this type of reading has been around since, I want to say, the 50s.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Did not know that.
But back then it was flashing screens on like a movie projector kind of deal, and it was all research, and and it pops its head up every about 10 years. Like I totally did my research on this when we had him on the show, and again, it's fun, but try it. You might just like it. It's not going to change the way we read anything ever, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, Fortress answered the question. He says, my Amazon Fire is running Fire OS 5.1.1.
Right. Okay. So they're rolling it out slowly, and eventually my tablet will get it.
There it is. Okay.
whenever Amazon is ready to let me get it.
Okay.
Isn't that aggravating?
So you like the technology, getting back to the speed reading, because I know we had them on the show and we asked them questions like, what about dyslexia and things, and supposedly it solved those problems. People weren't, seeing things reversed; they were seeing it as it was. Um, it sounded very positive to me, and again, my experience with it. But maybe Ben is correct in the sense that I just did it for a short time and I thought, oh, this is really cool. But would I want to read that way all the time? Maybe not.
Right, and that's where I'm coming from. But again, I feel there are certain people that might be able to benefit from that. And I thought it was amazing that they put it in this, as we say, $50 tablet.
Yeah.
So the tablet itself has a lot of things, and if you actually compare this $50 tablet with their $160 tablet, they're all quad-core processors. Even the displays are not that much better on their bigger tablets or their more expensive tablets. So I just was I was pretty amazed that they were able to put in what they put in and do it for $50.
And if you're looking for that perfect holiday gift for the kids or
Yep.
someone, this certainly would be an inexpensive way to make yourself look, to them, wow, it's an impressive gift.
That's right.
Yeah.
By the way, in looking at the specs, Ben, I come up with the weight, which is 11 ounces.
So well under a pound.
Yep.
That's not bad.
No, it's a decent tablet that does most everything you want it to do. And the thing in my mind that really flashed quickly in my mind, $50 for a tablet. Boy, are those iPads overpriced. Now, you might be getting more with an iPad. You might be getting stereo speakers and a better screen and all that. But when you consider that they're doing this for a tenth of a $500 iPad, or or the
Right.
iPad Pro, which starts at $800 or something like that, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but I gotta miss. I don't think anyone's ever went into an Apple store and said, "Man, look at these prices. I love them. They're so affordable. I love this." So,
Yeah, what you're saying is that Apple fans are willing to pay for, their product, which is obviously probably better designed and
Right.
maybe sturdier, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Isn't
yes.
that right, Craig?
The iPad Pro, as you mentioned, it's got that Apple Pencil. It's got some really nice features.
You got to pay extra for the pencil.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You got to pay extra for everything.
Pay extra for the keyboard.
That's true.
I love Apple because they're always in the forefront. They're coming out with wonderful things. We wouldn't have the smartphones we have right now if not for Apple.
Right, we would not. We would not.
So
You're the impetus behind all the technology improvements. Apple comes up with something amazing, and then companies will follow and come up with something similar but at a lesser price. But then Apple comes up with something newer than that. So they're
Right.
always going to be ahead. So true.
and they always have the money to do that,
Yes, they do. Yeah.
which is a good way to go.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, Sandy Berger is with us for the hour. We're talking about all the different things. Again, if you go to computeramerica.com, click on the link that shows today's show. There's the cheat notes link. Then you can see everything that we're talking about on today's program, and then some. We're going to move over to fitness. Again, Apple certainly in the fitness. Apple Health is it, but Adidas, not a small name in the fitness department, is coming out with their own fitness watch, which looks really cool.
It is kind of different and amazing in its own respect. This actually comes in two colors. It comes in black, which looks like your typical black, and it comes in white, which I'm going to hold up if you can see. The white is almost translucent.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's not a white. And it's got the time or whatever in white lights, and then on the side there's green, white, and blue lights that come on for various things.
Let's see it again. Hold it up again. I'll get a little glimpse of it.
I'm sorry, my hand is still in the splint. See if I can get
higher up.
the camera.
It's not in the
Camera, there we go.
There it is. Yeah. Okay. There it is. Okay. All right. It's a nice size. It's got that like rubber band and everything, which is nice.
Yeah, it's got a wonderful band. It's this really lightweight silicone stuff, and so you don't even know you have it on. But it is big. If I put it on my arm, it looks big and chunky. On a man, it probably wouldn't look that big.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that's really, I think that this watch is made more for people who want to work out, who want to track their workouts.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than, it's not like a
fashion watch.
It's not a fashion watch. It's not a communications watch. It's not a watch for just to do your heartbeat or how many steps you take. It's got a lot more features than that. And when you're exercising and you're wearing it, you can get your heart rate on there, and it'll have lights to show that you're working harder or you're working less. So you know when you've reached the peak that you're aiming at in your workout. It has an accelerometer that tracks the pace, the distance, the stride. Let's see, it syncs to your wireless network, so you put the app on your phone and it syncs up automatically. So it does the heart rate. It's got a lot of memory in it. I guess the most impressive thing is that you can do, on the app itself, you can do workouts. So whether you want to run or you want to do cardio, whatever you want to do, you can follow the workouts that they laid up for. So it's kind of like a coach. I guess that's what I would say. It's more of a coach, and it's more of something that if you really want to get into getting your body in shape, you want to work out, and you can schedule the workouts. So you can say, I want to do this 3 times a week. I want to do this 5 times a week. You can schedule walks. You can schedule different exercises, things to do at the gym. It's not for the everyday person, but obviously from Adidas, you'd think probably it wouldn't be. And somehow they also have a shoe that coordinates with this. I'm not sure how that works.
See, I just think like a shoe that you wear on your wrist is just going to be way too clunky.
No, it's not a
good.
shoe that you wear on your wrist.
Oh, okay.
Nike came out with something like that originally with the shoes.
Yeah, with the shoes, yeah.
But as you mentioned, Nike, Adidas, these are all fitness companies. So this is not for the average, person. This is someone who's really into their activities.
Right, and this is $150. So the average person is probably going to think twice about using it. But it seemed to me, and I've only had it for about a week, but it seems to me to be pretty accurate. That's without any grading that I'm doing or anything like that. But it just seems more accurate than some of the others. So,
Well, accuracy, I would think, would be really important, especially in a product like this.
And that's what I'm finding. Some of these products aren't very accurate. Now, is it where you put it on your wrist that they're getting your heartbeat from, or not? I don't know what it is, but I think some of them are not as accurate as this one.
It could be, it's weird that a lot of companies don't think of this whenever they, because I've tried a couple of these. They seem to not take into account sweat. Like if you put it on and you're sitting in a room and you're, just lounging around, it'll say your heart rate is whatever. But in real world use, they get very inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, and there's no way for someone like me who's just testing it without any equipment to say how accurate it is. But I guess that's what I'm saying, and in the little bit that I've used it, I have found it to keep giving me good information on a consistent basis. Now, the one thing that I have to say that I didn't like is it comes with no information at all.
Huh.
So you get this thing, and it didn't have any information in the box.
No instructions?
No instructions, not even... Oh, I think it did have something that said go to the website or whatever. It comes with a little holder that you plug in for the USB to charge it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't even tell you how to attach that to the watch, which after you try a little bit, you finally get it right, okay? It takes a little while to charge up, but it lasts. I've had it for, I guess, a week, and it still has battery power left. So, but I actually had trouble navigating their website as well. I just wanted a user guide. I couldn't find it. They had questions and answers and this and that, and you know, I mean, it was kind of difficult actually to figure out how to use it, even as far as like setting the time and getting it on your Wi-Fi network.
Wow.
It should be much more intuitive than that.
Well, I mean, some people just don't like reading manuals. It could be for that as
I'm
well.
sure it is, and more people are getting used to not having a manual. I'm old-fashioned. I kind of like I'd like to have something, but I'd like to be able to find it easily if I go to the website where they could walk me through it.
Turn this on. How do I turn
Right.
it on?
And the other thing is that everybody is tending toward videos. This is you know, come on, we'll give you a video of how you do this.
Yeah.
And I would rather read it for the most part. Now, of course, if it's something they're showing me on the watch or on the phone itself, that's different. But oh well. All right.
I've like my current kick. You can't tell by looking at me, but I'm trying to work out more, and I'm currently using an app on my smartphone. Like no wearables, no nothing like that. And it seems like a lot of that integration because it has like timed workouts, you know, 5 minutes of this, 5 minutes of this, and it buzzes and chirps and all that kind of stuff. And it sounds like this has a lot of that built in, but how much how much is the FitSmart supposed to be a standalone product, or is it really because, you know, go to the bottom of the page and they have about 20 or 30 different items that go hand in hand with this thing?
They do, and you have to use it with an app. So that alone, you have to have your phone with you. I don't know, like that's, I guess, why I said this is to me, this is for someone who really wants to use it during their workouts, to control the workouts, to see how fast your heart rate is, to kind of control things, and that's why I think there's other devices that are out there that are more for the average user.
Mm. Okay.
In terms of sizes, is this small and large? Is that the wrist size of the unit?
That's the wrist size, I believe, because mine is pretty big. Now, I don't know if mine is a small size.
All right.
But if I hold it, wait, let me hold it onto my wrist and I'll show you.
Oh, yeah. Wow, it covers your whole wrist.
It covers my whole wrist, and I've got to admit they've got a really nice double clasp on this, so it doesn't flap out or anything. It holds steady. I love the design of it. To me, it's just much too big. Now, would I mind wearing this when I'm in the gym working out? No, I wouldn't mind, because it's, you know, just for that purpose. But it's not something I would wear every day. All day to measure my steps.
Right.
You wear your Apple Watch for that.
That's right.
Exactly.
A lot of other things that, you know, Fitbit or whatever, that you could use for that.
Okay. All right. Well, it looks like for those who are really serious about fitness, and you find yourself in the gym a lot, you know, this might be something, you know, that fits into that.
Yeah, I think that if you look at it then.
I have really enjoyed, and of course not using this particular product, but at least the app that, you know, tells you, you know, start running, start walking, start doing this, start doing that. Though the app-only versions of those, not even the wearables, are very, very helpful for working out. It kind of tells you what to do and how long to do, and takes a lot of the guesswork, you know, especially for new people, out of how to work out. So, you know, putting it into a wearable sounds really nice. It's just, it sounds like I wish, you know, it sounds like you wish it was a little bit better designed, you know, just software-wise.
Yeah, some things in the design are very good, and some things need work, is my opinion. But you know, I've gotten quite a few email and even phone calls about fitness things that are coming out for CES this year. So this is no doubt going to be a big year for fitness products.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think as the technology improves and these things get smaller and thinner.
I mean, eventually they're just going to be implants. Let's face it, that's where all this is going.
No, I don't want anything implanted.
It's going to happen. You can't fight it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Why wear it when you can just have one?
I just had the surgeon cut my hand to repair it. I don't want him cutting me open to put something in.
And he didn't give you an option to upgrade. It's like, hey, for an additional $100, I could slip in a GPS tracker.
Yeah, he probably could actually.
How do you know he didn't already?
There you go.
Yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Okay.
Gross.
So I know he did.
You wanted to stay awake for it. Okay, got it. No general.
Yeah, I don't do well with these things that they use to knock you out because even this, they put I don't know how many shots in my hand. He had 2 places he had to cut open. I don't know how many shots they gave me, but once all of that numbing stuff got into my system,
Yeah.
I slept for 3 days. Literally slept for 3 days. So if they'd put me to sleep, I would have probably been out for a week.
Yeah. Although a lot of the stuff they're doing was with microsurgery. They just take a little tiny slit, and
They do that a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So that's it for the Adidas Fit Smart Fitness Coach and Activity Tracker. Again, you can see all this on the cheat notes at computeramerica.com. So we're going to move over to this really interesting service. So many of us, have smartphones. And we pay either AT&T or Verizon or Sprint, a monthly or yearly contract. Evidently, there's a company called Give, and that's GIV, Mobile, Motorola Moto E. This is an interesting service. Tell us about this.
Well, the service is called Give Mobile,
Mm-hmm.
as you said, with no E after Give.
Mm-hmm.
They have a variety of phones that you can purchase, and then they provide the service. And so they sent me a Give Mobile Motorola Moto E. And it's selling for, if you go out to buy it, it's about $150. And I was pretty impressed with this phone. It's a smaller phone. Let's see how big it is here. If I have that. Yes, I do. It is a 4.6-inch screen. It's got a nice size screen, but a smaller phone.
Hold it up so see it.
Hold it up. There we go.
Okay. All right. It's a little thicker, but it's smaller. Exactly. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got a little bit of weight to it, which is not bad for a phone because for me, it's got curved ends, and that makes me able to hold it better.
All right.
All right. So what Give Mobile does, though, is they will sell you the phone and sell you the service, or they will sell you a SIM card that you can use in any unlocked phone. And when it comes to the service, they give 8% of whatever you're paying to them for the service. They're giving it back to a charity of your choice. So there are a lot of people that like to see their money go to charity, and this is a fairly easy way to do it. So they give 8% of your monthly payment amount to the nonprofit of your choice. I don't know if you can split it into. I think you just choose one nonprofit that you can do this with. Okay, and they're affordable. The plans start at $20 a month and go up to $60 a month, and $60 is pretty much unlimited everything. They actually, they're one of these companies that, there's a name for them. Can't remember what they're called, but it's a company that actually doesn't have their own lines, but they go to Sprint and T-Mobile and these other people, and they lease their lines so that they use. So they say they have coverage in like 96% of the United States.
Wow.
And I have not, even places here that I've taken it where I normally can't get a signal on AT&T or can't get a signal on T-Mobile. In some cases, I was able to get a signal on this phone. So, yeah, there's Ben just put up the what you get for $20 a month and what you get for $60 a month.
Yeah, 20. Again, it's come to that point, folks, that if you use a phone as a phone and you want to talk, you are in so much luck because no one wants to talk on their phones anymore. They are giving away minutes and talk time and that kind of thing. They don't care. But it seems like data, and if you really want a decent amount of data, you're pretty much going to have to go up to the 60, to the highest one. I mean, 1 gigs and 2 gigs. I think most people who use data would probably blow through that very, very quickly. So
I think you're right. The really nice thing about the thing that you gain here is not only can you talk, but you can text. And it used to be that texting cost you even more money.
Mm-hmm.
So now what you said is absolutely true, Ben. The talk is unlimited and the text is unlimited. So you can get by on the $20 a month plan if you don't do hardly any.
Right.
Right. So, one thing you can do on this phone, you can buy one of their packages that has Wi-Fi. So most of the time you're using it, you can hook up to Wi-Fi too for data. And then you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. We're seeing more and more. If you're in a Wi-Fi area, then your data usage.
Now, one thing I'm noticing about this whole plan thing is that it's the high-speed data, which of course, obviously means is 3G considered fast still, or is it just 4G and LTE?
I think just 4G and LTE is
right.
Is fast. I think.
Yeah, so the high-speed data, that's obviously what you're going to want for web streaming and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But that's kept off at 1 gig, 2 gig, 10 gig, whatever plan you get. But the just basic data is unlimited. So does that mean that, let's say you hit 10 gigs in 1 month? Let's say you're doing something crazy, and you hit 10 gigs. Does it throttle you back to just using data, like not high speed, but just data?
And we'll get the answer to that question when we come back.
Okay.
You're listening to the Computer America Show. Sandy Berger is our guest for the entire program. We're going to have a News Tips Bulls review from Marty Winston coming up too. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission of Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is to help build a sustainable, no-kill community where no dogs or cats are ever killed for population control, where true euthanasia is reserved only for animals who are irremediably suffering or for animals who are truly a threat to society and with no hope of rehabilitation. Brother Wolf staff and volunteers go door to door, neighborhood by neighborhood, to educate citizens about local resources available for at-risk pets and to help their families connect with those resources. Brother Wolf's community-based approach to no-kill helps keep family pets healthy, happy, and in their homes and out of the local shelter system in the first place. For more information or to make a tax-deductible donation to this wonderful 501c3 organization, visit their website at www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Had a photographic memory, just couldn't get anything to develop. Hi, Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America. This time, Bet It. Bet It has a band or ribbon that you double-stick attached to the bedding under your sheets, crosswise to your chest. It talks to a companion app over Bluetooth Smart to monitor your sleep. So while it's a nice sleep tracker with no wearables involved, the thin ribbon piezo sensor strip is what got our attention. It tracks heart and breathing rates and more. That thin ribbon is a single sensor that can potentially measure pressure, acceleration, temperature, strain, or force, as if a microphone and a bathroom scale got married and had a long, thin baby. It takes a whopping lot of processing to derive so much data from a single sensor. On the other hand, we can think of a zillion other cool ways to deploy that sensor. So bottom line, the Bedded Sleep Tracker provides a clever way to let our sleep talk to us. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. So thank you, Marty Winston, for that News Tip Bulletin review. And Sandy, before we get back to this whole Give Mobile thing and the data and what I just asked before the break, that actually brings up a good point. What he just reviewed, that he just reviewed, sleep trackers. Have you ever used them, Sandy? And do you get actual relevant information? Like, should people be using sleep trackers?
I think that it can be good for some people who have trouble sleeping. I have used some, but that was maybe 2 years ago when they were first. I don't know if you remember, there was a splurge of these units that came out on all over the place, and I tried it. Some of them had headbands or wristbands or whatever. I didn't think I was getting any useful information from them.
Well, this Bedded looks pretty interesting.
The new things that are coming out, like I said, CES this year, health-wise, has to be, just filled with new devices that'll be, I'm sure, much better. I'm sure sleep trackers have gotten better since I've tried them.
I think that the primary thing with these sleep trackers, Sandy, is that they don't physically attach to you anymore.
Right.
Is the worst thing. I understand if you have sleep apnea and you have to wear but the point is, why you have to put all these things attached and the wires get crossed, and even if they're wireless, they're still a pain. This thing like Bedded, as he said, it's a strip, it's a sensor. Nothing's attached to you. That to me really makes it a lot easier to use.
Yeah, it kind of depends what information they give you. The old sleep trackers that I tried, they would give you how much time you spent in REM sleep and how much time you spent in these various levels of sleepiness. But what you could actually do about it, they didn't help you with that. So. That'll be interesting to see if anybody's come up with something that they can actually help you not only monitor your sleep, but control it a little bit better. Yeah. I think they're going to tell you to have hot milk and honey before you go to sleep.
That always works.
Yeah.
Well, it's just that these and I'm sure it's all clever advertising by the people who make these things, but it's like they put out studies and research, and it's like, oh, I used one of these and I found out that I'm actually not sleeping at all for 5 hours a night. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not sleeping.
Well, then what do you do?
I don't know. It's just, I guess, once you know about it, I guess you fix it somehow, but.
Well, then you get more worried and sleep less.
No, you take Tylenol.
Because you're worried about sleeping.
Well, you take ZQuil or something.
Could be. All right. So yes, but nice little segue there. But back around to our question about Give Mobile. Again, a mobile payment and cell phone service that will let you donate. I guess is one big tenet of of what they do. And I just asked a question about data and this whole high-speed data, and whether if you hit the cap, do you get overage fees, and are you going to get hit with, you used 11 gigs of high-speed data? Shame on you. Or is it just going to automatically throttle you back to just basic data?
And the answer is I am not sure how they handle that, but since the data is listed on a separate line than high-speed data. It's quite possible that you just get throttled back to what would be included. That would be the assumption if you were going to go to Give Mobile and take one of their plans. That would be something that would be a good question for them.
Okay. All right. So something that are you recommending this at this point?
At this point, I think if you're looking for a no-contract phone, this looks like a good one, and I'll tell you, this Moto E was a very decent phone. It's not as fast as some, but the screen is good, and I couldn't find anything wrong with the phone. Isn't that a terrible way to look at it?
Yeah, well, but that's
But
the
I
job.
do. I tend when I look at a phone, I tend to, okay, here's, the iPhone or the Samsung, which are the most expensive phones, and then you compare the lesser phones to that
Yeah.
and say, okay, this one is, not as good, not as fast, whatever. This had your SD card, which I love to be able to have that, and it's a nice size, it's a nice make, model, it's well built. So the phone itself is something I would advise if you're looking for a basic smartphone. And when
Yeah.
I say basic, basically it can do everything you want it to do,
Yeah.
but it's not totally state of the art.
Right.
Let me ask you this, just for our listeners, Sandy. What phone do you use personally now? I know you keep switching back and forth between the iPhone and the Samsung. Which of the two, or which
Well,
phone?
I have settled down to basically using the iPhone 6. I have a 6 Plus.
Okay.
And that's the phone that I use every day. Now, to be honest with you, I'm having trouble with it because my hand cannot hold it, the width of it anymore. Well, because I obviously have splints on my hand, but
That's temporary.
we'll see how that goes as I get healed up.
Yeah.
But I'm using that. My husband uses the Samsung, a brand new Samsung phone. And that way, even if I don't have any phones here for review, I still, if I want to try out an app on Android or I want to try it out on iOS, I can use his phone or my phone and do that.
Okay.
So we're kind of a mixed marriage, but we're happy.
The only thing I'm picturing is like, but Sandy, I really want an iPhone. It's like, no, I need this. You are gonna keep the phone. Stop it.
No, actually, my husband started using his first smartphone, happened to be a Motorola phone. And so he got used to the Android system, and he likes that. I'm sure he'd be happy with iPhone too. He's pretty computer literate and pretty techy. So.
Now, how come you haven't upgraded to the 6S Plus or the 6S? Any particular reason?
I am still on Verizon, which has a 2-year contract deal. So until my phone gets out of contract, I'm probably not going to think about it.
I always go, and I seem to be on the half cycle. In other words, my phone seems to break, or something seems to happen, or Ben will break something on my phone.
Yeah.
So I'm on
the wrong time.
So I gave him my 5S, and now I have a 6S, and I'll probably stay that way. Although I did subscribe to the plan at AT&T, so when the 7 comes out, I can upgrade to the 7. So you can always have the latest version. I did do that.
There are so many plans now that when they first started coming out, I had written about it for AARP.
Yeah.
And I wrote about all the plans and how they're changing. But since then, they have changed all over again, and now I find it terribly, terribly difficult to choose a plan. And I think most older people are going with phones that are no-contract phones like this Give Mobile. Although that's a monthly fee, there are other no-contract phones that, go for how much you use. You only pay for what you use. And a lot of older people are going in that direction.
And you can think, boy, you're really into this as a consumer electronics. If it's confusing for you, can you imagine what it must be for other people?
Exactly. No, you're right. I don't know how some people do it. I think they just go out and make a decision and, whatever looks good at the moment, because that might be a good way to choose. But actually, in our area, Verizon is the only company that gives totally consistently good coverage.
All right. Well,
my husband is a realtor. Besides helping me in my business, he's a realtor, and he really needs that kind of coverage. So that's why we stay with Verizon.
But as you know, Verizon also offers iPhone. So they all offer, the big ones now. All the big carriers offer the.
Yeah. They all offer a lot.
Verizon had a plan that they would give you an iPhone 6S for free if you switched over from AT&T. They're really doing some really a lot of incentives.
And T-Mobile has just been under investigation for false advertising. Did you read that?
No, I did not.
No.
And I think that AT&T should have been under investigation a long time ago for false advertising. Because of the way they always advertise that they're the best. And the best in which way. Verizon has been better in many different ways. So
Well,
that's just my opinion. I have nothing against AT&T. So
it's
just
like
to let you know.
Well, it's Heinz. We're the number one ketchup. What's number one?
Exactly.
It's all subject to interpretation. I want to get to this next item here. 'Cause, I've always remembered people when I say, "Hey, I'm going to get a robot," and they say, "Oh, great." He says, "Yeah, but does it do Windows?" Ha ha ha. And is it? Well, guess what?
There is a robot that does Windows.
It is. We're not talking about the Windows operating system. We're talking about real physical Windows.
Right. This is actually from Echovax Robotics, and it's called a WinBot. That's a good name, huh? WinBot.
WinBot, yeah.
WinBot 8. It's a device that's about, and I'm just guesstimating, 8 inches by 8 inches. And it has a cleaning pad, and you put it on your window, it attaches to the window, and like the Roomba, it goes around and cleans the window. You get to choose if it's going up and down, basically, or side to side, depending on whether the window is wider or taller.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be quite honest with you, I have not tried it out yet. I've looked at it because of my hand being somewhat limited this past few weeks.
Yeah.
I have not tried it out. The other thing about this is that I've read all the reviews in various places, and there were several reviews on Amazon that said it cracked their windows. So now I'm a little nervous to actually try this thing out.
How can it crack your window? I mean, was it using suction? What is it using to stay vertical?
I don't know, and I'm going to have to try it just so I can say, okay, it did not crack my windows. But I don't want to do that right now at the holiday season, because if I had to replace a window. Now, the people that were talking on Amazon, several of them said that they contacted the company and they paid for a new window.
Wow.
Which I thought was pretty interesting. And they could have been older versions. I don't know where we're at on that, but I will investigate.
As one who had a condo on the ocean up on the 4th floor, this would have been something that would have been really desirable to have, because I had to hire people to come over to wash the windows. They had to put these 60-foot ladders to get up to the 4th floor to even clean the window. And,
right.
Ben's running a video of it. We can actually see it happening here. And,
okay.
I mean, the design, I would think, would leave a little to be desired. It looks kind of like I don't even want to say old-fashioned, but sorry, folks, an old-fashioned wall-mounted telephone.
It does kind of remind you of a telephone.
But it has a remote control. Look at that. He's spinning it counterclockwise.
It has a remote control, and it has a tether so that if it falls off or something, it won't crash to the ground.
So the tether is not power; it's just a tether, or is it?
Yes, it's just a tether. As far as I know, it's just a tether.
Wow, very, very cool. Look at that. I can't figure out what's holding it to the glass.
I think it's suction, which, if you think about it, would be why it could crack a glass.
You have to have some pretty thin glass, though. I mean, come on.
I would think so. Now, there were also people on Amazon that said, "Oh my God, this thing is fantastic. I've got windows that are 2 stories high, and it goes up to the top and cleans it up, and so as usual. I mean, that's how it always is in products like this. There are people that love it and people that hate it."
Right, and sorry again, sue me if you are said this, but not automated. Like, you have to sit there and control this thing with a remote control, right?
No, you don't have to. You don't have to do anything. It will work on its own.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I think you have to be there. I wouldn't advise just letting it go loose on its own.
contact. You have a PR contact. I'm going to contact them themselves, because we have windows that are like 30 feet high. And so certainly would like to try these out and see if this is.
Craig, I think you should get one for each window and just keep them there. Just let them sit.
Fortunately, the windows don't get too dirty, but yeah, I'm definitely would like to try something like this. It's $400 a unit. Now, there are different models, though, too, right?
I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, I'm looking here.
Well, I would assume there'd be a WinBot 7 6.
W710, W830, the W930.
Okay.
There's 3 models it looks like that they're offering, and
Okay.
not familiar with what the differences are. But again, as you say, you haven't had a chance to get hands-on with this yet,
Right.
literally. So,
And there are some restrictions as far as using it outside. I mean, I think it's got to be above 40 degrees or something like that. And that would make perfect sense that you don't want to put this thing on your windows when it's 10 degrees outside.
yeah.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So,
I'm
just
wondering.
to mention it.
Yeah, no. Do you put Windex in it, or you have to put it on the pad, or I'm not sure exactly.
It comes with its own solution that it, of course, suggests you use.
Yeah, well, I would think so. I mean,
Yeah. So.
Okay, and it's called WinBot. It's from Echovax Robotics, and
maybe we can talk about it again next month. We'll see.
yeah, I'll see what again. And again, you can watch the video. We have the links on the cheat notes, and you can check it out there as well. So now we only have like about 15 minutes left. I want that you had a number of articles that you have here on the cheat notes. Starting off.
Right, and yeah, I want to invite everyone again to come to the CompuKIS website and read these various articles. Some of the articles that I have listed here are also at hardwaresecrets.com, which is a very good website. More geeky oriented, but you know, I'm doing a lot of writing there now, so you might find some of my things there as well.
Okay. Continue on, Sandy. I have to get.
Well, the one that I really had fun writing is the one I probably want to talk about first, and that is emojis. What do you think of that, Ben?
I think that honestly, I think that there's a separation of cultures from. I don't even want to say the elderly and they're not going to understand this and blah blah blah, but there's the older folks, and that includes everything over 30. So and 30 is not old.
Okay. All right.
And then there's the under 30 crowd, and I think there's such a disconnect that they're like, emojis, they're the new biggest craziest thing. It's crazy, while the younger generation's like, I mean, yeah, we use them, but it's not that big a deal. That's how I think it is. I think they're definitely using them, and they're definitely expanding. But I think all the cultural hubbub about it is a little inflated.
I don't think it is. And the reason I say that, and the reason I wrote this article, was because the Oxford Dictionary named the word of the year. Every year they come out with the word of the year, and it's supposed to be the word that is most common used, and all that.
Right.
And this year it wasn't a word at all. It was an emoji. So that was amazing to me.
I'm glad that our society has come to the point where we said, dictionaries are too wordy. If only there were pictures.
Yeah, just like
Exactly.
I'm sure the Egyptians are laughing, with their hieroglyphics. See, we had it right all in the first place. It was all pictures.
That's right. That's right. Everything that goes around comes around, they say.
Evidently, yeah, exactly.
But obviously, anybody who's got teenagers in their home knows what these things are, the little pictorial things that you put on text messages and Instagram and all that. But, Ben, they are becoming more commonplace and more popular. And the idea that the word of the year would be one of these, that's the first indication. But another indication is that Finland has just named national emojis for their country.
Yes. We heard about that.
Yeah.
And if you look down, there are people in saunas and all that sort of thing. They're trying to. Finland used to be a sad place, but now they're calling it the happy place. And the other thing that's becoming very popular with these, and more so than I recall, and I use them. I think they're cute. I think they do express emotion, which you can't do on an email or a text. But the thing that I see being more and more in use now is linking them together.
Right.
In other words, a line of them. Do you see that more than you did before, Ben?
I'm seeing it a bit, but I think emojis first started out by you have a sentence and it could be a little ambiguous or whatever, and people would put, the colon and parenthesis and stuff like that, to make like a little smiley face, a little tongue sticking out, whatever, and like it kind of gave the emotion of the sentence that you just read.
Emoticon.
Right.
Exactly.
Right, and they really are an extension of the emoticon. They're emojis. But this whole stringing together, I've seen it. I don't like it, but it's happening, and I cannot deny that.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is I've read articles by some highly rated people who say, oh, she just she accepted the wrong meaning for what I was saying when I
Right.
put that picture out there, and that's the other thing, that these things get a meaning in a certain crowd, and a different crowd might think that there's a different meaning.
Well, that's a thing, because when we use a text or you use a sentence, you can say "have a nice day," or you can say "hey, you have a nice day," and it's a tonality. It's the same words, but it means something totally different. And that's what was happening with just text. And so emoticons came out to kind of remove some of that ambiguity, and now emoji is just taking it to the next level. Obviously, people who have iPhones now, we have our own emoji keyboards built into iOS now.
Right.
Yeah.
But they were not created for that reason. You're absolutely right. You can be snarky or whatever that you can't be in a text. You can promote that in your character that you're using, but that's not where they were created. They were created in Japan when smartphones became popular and texting became popular, and the texts were taking up too much space. They were using up too much data. And we talked about that earlier, that they used to charge for texts because they took up data space. And so they were engineered by people, some scientists or whatever in Japan, so that the Japanese started using them to cut down on data use. And they became wildly popular because of what we're talking about, because you can have one of these little characters that says what you might take 5 words to say, and it can convey emotion and information at the same time.
I guess at this point you can clearly see the role that they're filling now. It's just where's it going to end? What is the emoji end game here?
Exactly. In my article, I talked about the emoji video search engine, where you could search for videos just by picking an emoji out. So you've got somebody crying or laughing or whatever, and you pick the laughing one. Maybe you'll get a funny movie or a funny video, and it's just totally unique from what we've ever. Nothing like this have we had before, even when we were writing on parchment paper.
Well,
if the generation before us has ever thought, man, this younger generation is absolutely destroying the English language. Have you seen how they text? And now they're just using pictures, and I don't know how much further they can go to really alienate.
But now they're not destroying the language anymore. So maybe people that are more English-oriented will feel that these are good.
I hope so. And really, I do enjoy using them. I have not reached to the point where I string them together and make complex sentences using just pictures. Like, I've seen people, it's like I really enjoy, and then they have like a beach umbrella, they have a boat, they have food, they have like they describe items using these pictures, and I have not gotten to that point yet, but I've seen it.
And they've not only do that, but they can string them together as verbs and adverbs and adjectives.
Mm-hmm.
Which is unique, because if you get somebody that speaks a different language and you think this is a universal language, but yet they might put their adjectives at the beginning of the sentence or their verb at the end of the sentence different than we do, and it kind of screws up the way you would be thinking about reading this sentence.
Yeah. Scientists used to say math is the universal language, but maybe it's emojis.
Maybe it's emojis.
That's right.
That's
yeah.
Right. Exactly.
I will say though, the thing I do enjoy is that they did put in skin tone, not too long ago.
Yes, and this is all done by the Unicode people who
Mm-hmm.
work with the internet, and so that if you want something, like they didn't have a hot dog for a long time. Okay,
Finally.
and there's a hot dog place in the outskirts of Chicago called Superdog.
Mhm.
And Superdog went on a big spree to get everybody to write to them to get this hot dog emoji. And they got the hot dog. And at the same time they got the hot dog, they got a piece of pizza. And now the pizza you can use to order a Domino's pizza on Twitter. You just tweet the emoji.
Wow.
And they put in the skin tones at the same time, because that was another really requested thing.
Politically correct emoji, obviously. Listen, everybody, we're out of time. We could go on and on with this. This has been a lot of fun. Sandy, thank you so much for being with us, and we're going to look forward to seeing you out at the Consumer Electronics Show and Showstoppers with Ben, and we'll be in touch with you before we go out there, and certainly arrange everything. Again, I want to thank you so much for being with us here. Great stories. Again, CompuKiss.com is the website. Sandy Berger, you can check it out. Of course, just go to ComputerAmerica.com. We have a link to everything that Sandy does at CompuKiss, or at the Hardware Secrets, where she writes articles as well. Again, thanks for being with us here, Sandy. And what do we got coming up tomorrow? It's Thursday, and that means
90 seconds.
we're going to have MindSpark Interactive is going to be joining us. They are the creators of the Slimware Utilities. Deb Josephs is going to be joining us for the first hour, talking about the job market in technology. It's going to be a very interesting show, and she's going to be with us here for the first hour. Deb Josephs from MindSpark Interactive. And then the second hour, we will have Computer and Technology News, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They are the official
60
optimization software of Computer America. Again, Sandy, thank you for being with us here, and we're going to see you out there at the
All
Consumer
right.
Electronics Show. Yeah, at
Been
CES.
great fun.
Yeah, and if you're out there at CES, look for us. We're going to be out there. Stop by, say hello, throw something at us.
No, don't throw anything at me.
Unless it's
Throw
technology
rocks. Throw rocks.
or money.
Money's okay.
We can throw money, exactly. All right, everybody, have a great afternoon, and Ben and I will see you here, same time, same station, same place. So until tomorrow afternoon, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.
Have a good one, everyone.
Bye-bye.
10 seconds.
Yoo-hoo!
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, again, everybody, thanks for watching, and hopefully you had a good time. And Ben and I will see you here tomorrow. And again, look for Sandy next month out of the Consumer Electronics Show and Showstoppers.
All
Take
right.
care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.